The year is 2006 and the Miami Heat and Dallas Mavericks are matching up in the NBA Finals. It's Game 6 in a 7-game series, and the Heat are up 3-2 in the series. There's 10.3 left in the fourth, and young superstar Dwayne Wade is at the free throw line, a common occurrence in the series that, depending on who you were rooting for, was a nuisance or an expected situation. But let's take a step back and see how they both got here. The Miami Heat are anchored by two superstars, Dwayne Wade and Shaquille O'Neal. Wade was a third overall pick in the loaded 2003 NBA draft, coming off of an amazing tournament run where in his final year he led Marquette to a Final Four finish. Wade was looking to capitalize on his success and show the same in the NBA. But it didn't click right away for Wade. He had a decent rookie year but missed 20-plus games, and playing at PG all the while being compared to classmates LeBron and Melo, who had phenomenal rookie years, put a damper on his rookie year. He then switched to shooting guard and really showed what he could do with a year of NBA experience under his belt. By the time his third year came around, Wade was a superstar player who had made the All-Star game twice already and was averaging 27, 7, and 6 on nearly 50% from the field. Shaquille O'Neal, on the other hand, coming off a disappointing final season with Los Angeles, where not only did he feud with fellow star Kobe Bryant, but lost to the Detroit Pistons in the finals, with a pretty stacked roster that had names like Gary Payton and Karl Malone. That offseason, he was traded to the Miami Heat, looking to prove that he didn't need Kobe to win and that he was the reason for their success. He had a good season but ultimately fell short when he lost again to the Detroit Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals. He wouldn't get to prove himself again until the next season, when he actually had a down year and missed 30-plus games in the regular season, but had a chance to win it all. Surrounded by guys like Gary Payton, who was on his last legs trying to secure his first ring, and guys like Udonis Haslem and James Posey, who were consistent role players that played their part well. As well as off the bench, they had players like Jason Williams, who was in the last years of his prime, a declining Antoine Walker, and veteran Alonzo Mourning, who would go on to retire in a couple years. Their opponent, the Dallas Mavericks, were led by star power forward Dirk Nowitzki and a star-studded supporting cast. Drafted 9th overall in the 1998 NBA draft by the Milwaukee Bucks, Dirk was a highly skilled German power forward who was traded on draft day to the Mavericks along with young, promising PG Steve Nash in a multi-team deal. The lockout year was rough for Nowitzki, so much so that he contemplated going back to Germany. However, in his first full season, things started to look up for him. Together with Steve Nash and veteran star Michael Finley, they put up 5 somewhat successful seasons in which Nowitzki averaged well over 20 points per game. While the first season saw Dallas finish outside the playoffs with a 40-42 season, things were looking up. The following 4 years, they would finish in the West semifinals twice, losing to the Spurs and the Kings. They even made it to the West Finals after those 2 years, losing to the Spurs again. This all led up to a disappointing 03-04 season where they would lose in the first round to the Kings and led to them letting Steve Nash walk in free agency, a decision owner Mark Cuban would later admit he regretted. And a year later, Finley was bought out as he would go on to sign a 3-year, $8.7 million contract with the Spurs. Despite all of this, the 05-06 season didn't look too bad as the Mavs still had Nowitzki and had given him a pretty capable supporting cast with guys like Jason Terry, a well-known gunner entering his prime at the point guard position, and a young Josh Howard who was a small forward, best known for scoring the ball, and would go on to become an all-star next season. Off the bench, they had guys like young Devin Harris, who only played 56 games, and aging veterans Jerry Stackhouse, Keith Van Horn, and Doug Christie. Now that we know what both these teams went through to get here, we can talk about what happened. Game 1 started off in Dallas with the Miami Heat up 31-23 at the end of the first quarter. But by the time the end of the first half came, Dallas was leading thanks to them holding the Heat to only 13 second quarter points. Dallas led the rest of the game and won 90-80. Dwayne Wade led his team with 28, while Jason Terry had a team-high 32 points. Game 2 was a similar story, with Dallas winning the game at home by 14 points, the big story being Shaq's 5 points total for the game, along with an ugly negative 27 plus minus. Dirk, on the other hand, dominated with 26 points and 14 rebounds. Things were looking up for Dallas, but right after Game 2, their parade plans leak. While they were up 2-0 in the series and they had swept the season series against the Heat, it still wasn't a good look. Mark Cuban even went as far as to repeatedly say he planned on accepting the Larry O'Brien trophy in a Speedo. Jason Terry even said that they had no doubt in their mind that they could go down to Miami and win not just one game, but maybe 2 out of the 3. Miami, on the other hand, didn't feel so confident. Pat Riley said he never felt comfortable about the 2 losses and that Miami's confidence was shot. And according to Udonis Haslem, being down 0-2, Miami was worried, knowing that it was all or nothing from there on out. Even Shaq, a player known for his unrelenting confidence, said he was definitely nervous. It got to the point where Shaq did something he said he had never done to his Miami teammates before. He really laid into each one of them. After practice, he went off on them, cursing out Dwayne Wade, Gary Payton, and Antoine Walker, asking them, "What are you gonna do?" See, at this point Shaq was 33 and Dallas was throwing him a double and triple in the post every time Miami tried to throw it down to him. This wasn't new for Shaq, as he was known for being dominant, especially in the finals. But it was different now. He couldn't keep up physically anymore and felt old. Running the offense through Shaq just wasn't working, and as Shaq pointed out to his teammates, Wade was open a lot. Shaq started to go at his teammates saying, "You want to be a star, you want to be like Kobe and LeBron, this is your time." And after that, it was the first time the team told Wade to do his thing and go to work. The Heat would go on to win Game 3 and Game 4 at home, Game 4 being a blowout, and in Game 3, down 13, a timeout was called, and in the huddle, Pat Riley wrote on his board, "This is the season." As Dallas, who was up 13, celebrated, Wade came out of the huddle yelling, "I ain't gonna go out like that." Wade would bring the Heat back down from 13 to win the game, 98-96, dropping 42 points. The performance in Game 4 was so bad that Mavs head coach Avery Johnson switched team hotels to outside Miami because of the distractions and rumors of players going out to party. Tied 2-2, both teams got ready for a pivotal Game 5. Touted as the most memorable game in the series, Game 5 was not without controversy. And to find out why, we have to go to the final seconds of the game. Down 100-99 with 9.1 left in OT, Dwayne Wade catches the ball in the backcourt and drives down the sideline. Double teamed, Wade crosses both defenders and drives the lane. Nowitzki defends as Wade throws up a shot and misses.
And this last possession for Miami, one last chance to win it.
And here's Dwayne Wade all the way in the backcourt.
Double team on Wade. Wade can't get away. Lays it up.
And he will go to the line. It looks like he was fouled. It looks like he was fouled. And what a play. They put the ball all the way in the backcourt. You're allowed that. And Dwayne Wade, it was just solo effort on his part. Solo effort.
But a foul is called on what looks like a drive where Nowitzki doesn't even touch Wade. Wade would go on to shoot 2 free throws and seal the win at 101-100 for the Heat. The Mavs were outraged by the call and the number of free throws given to Miami and Wade in general. See, in Game 5, Wade shot 25 free throws, the same amount as Dallas shot as a team. And in total, Wade would shoot 97 free throws for the series. That's almost half of the total 207 free throws Miami shot, and only 58 less than the total 155 free throws that Dallas shot. Wade would shoot 49 more free throws than Shaq, who had the second most total free throw attempts on the Heat with 48, and 42 more free throws than Dirk, who led Dallas in total free throw attempts. Heading to Dallas for Game 6, Miami was confident that they would win and become NBA champions. They even went as far as to make sure everyone brought one pair of clothes, as they knew they weren't going to play a Game 7. They even sent a video coordinator on a commercial flight because he brought more than one pair. And so here we are, back at the beginning. It's Game 6 in a 7-game series, and the Heat are up 3-2 in the series. There's 10.3 left in the fourth, and young superstar Dwayne Wade is at the line with 32 points and up 95-92. He looks to put the game out of reach.
Title for the Miami Heat. This is the first. Dallas still very much alive. This one would make it a 4-point lead. Missed them both. Rebound by Miami. No, and a travel as Haslem and Posey grabbed it together, and they call a travel.
Now that was amazing when you think that it was Posey and Haslem who had an opportunity for that rebound.
3-point game. Dallas out of timeouts. If you're Miami, do you foul? Don't let him shoot a three.
That's right. This is smart now. Are you going to foul?
Terry puts it up. Won't go. Rebound Wade. The Miami Heat, they've done it. They win their first championship in franchise history.
Jason Terry was actually fouled on that last three, and Gary Payton even admitted to fouling him by grabbing the back of his jersey, but the refs decided not to call anything. A tough loss for the Mavs and a stain on Maverick history, but I think 2011 more than makes up for it. Anyways, make sure to leave a like and check out one of my other videos. Also, if you make it this far, I'm increasing the quality and amount of videos I'm making, so make sure to stick around by subscribing and hitting the bell. Let me know down below what other moments in NBA history I should do a deep dive on, and what you think about the 06 finals. Take it easy, y'all.